Good afternoon, everyone. I am making a video for you guys today. I've had so many thoughts since my last video that I just felt the need to share what I have experienced and the way that my life has changed just in the past week or so. One of the most strongest statements that I can share with you is that words have power. And as a writer, a narrator, a trainer, a leader, a lover, a friend, I have learned some very important lessons about how words have power. So, without further ado, I am going to share these incredible thoughts with you. And by the way, if you hadn't picked up on the playlist title that I shared to use, Incredible Thoughts is inspired by the song by Lonely Island. They're one of my favorite bands, and I was lucky enough to see them at the Anthem in DC just a couple of weeks ago because my husband has a foot issue and can't stand, he actually had booked us some seated tickets. And we sat in this balcony, and it was the most amazing experience. And if you love Lonely Island, if you've never heard of them, but maybe you have watched Saturday Night Live and you've seen the Justin Timberlake video with Dick in a Box and you enjoyed that, I recommend going on to Netflix and checking out the Bash Brothers. It's a funny it is a poem. What is it called again? I can't remember exactly what they called it, but it's listed as a type of poem on Netflix. And if you have Netflix, you can watch it for free. We've watched it like 30 times. It's called the Bash Brothers Unauthorized Experience, and it's about Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. And if you're my age, you grew up with these sports players, and you can relate to everything that's going on in these videos, and it's freaking hilarious. So take 20, 30 minutes and watch these videos. Maya Rudolph is in it, and some other fun comedy people. So I just wanted to share that with you. So, the first thing that I wanted to share with you is before I get started into the words have power presentation that I have prepared, I wanted to share with you that I haven't had the best day today. I had some hard times sleeping last night, and it's because I had some anxiety, and I'm having some changes in my life. And my husband and I both are going through some things. And because of that, I decided to come up with a list of things that people can do to help them when they're feeling sad or depressed or anxious. And I know that when you're having these feelings, and especially for people my age who grew up in the 80s and 90s, there's a huge stigma on feeling this way. We were taught to bury our feelings, to not talk about them, and even we have a business event on Saturday where our team is coming over to record their lines for our production. It's called Thinking Out Loud, that what we're working on, our comedy show by E.A. Pools and Jay Gelsinger. It's comedy. It's going to be so hilarious. And on our whiteboard in our room where we work, I have this list that I wrote down on the whiteboard called Depression Kicker. And he said to me, he said, maybe we should. That's my cat, Artemis. He said, maybe we should uh, erase that. And I said, no. I said, maybe something on the board will spark something in someone, and they'll feel that the list helped them as well. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel depressed. And, if you work on it and you work towards feeling better, that's also a good thing. But it's okay to share your feelings about it and to talk to professionals and your friends and family. So share this list of things that I wrote down that are actually helping us with getting back into the normal groove of things. One, routine. I know routine sucks. You want to be a free spirit, you want to be a hippie, you want to go and do whatever you want to do, uh, and you want to be yourself. But routine can really make you feel like you have control over your life. And honestly, that's why a lot of people would like to go on diets when they feel like their life is out of control, because they want to have some sort of routine. But you don't have to go on a diet to do that. You can just create a routine for yourself, where you get up at a certain time and you try to go to bed at a certain time, and you do certain responsibilities on certain days. And then you feel more successful because you can check these things off your list. Even if you don't get everything checked off of your list, you feel more successful because you've gotten some of the things checked off your list. Now, when you're creating your routines, it's very important to schedule in things besides responsibilities. And that's the other things I'm going to go over with you. So, number two is goals. It's really important to set goals for yourself. One of my goals is to ride my exercise bike more. It's really hot right now in Maryland. It's humid. We've had a lot of thunderstorms. I don't know if you've seen on the news, but we've had a lot of flash flooding. I live near DC. I live like 40 minutes from DC, and people actually had to get on top of their cars because the water came in so quickly. Uh, um, they didn't even know that the water was coming in. They were just in their car. They had to climb on top of their car because it's been flooding so badly, and the weather is just insane. So we got some indoor exercise bikes, and we're trying to get used to riding those. It's not as fun as riding our outdoor bikes. We love riding in the mountains and everything, but it would be really good for us to ride our bikes indoors. So that's one of our goals, is to uh, work on riding our bikes more inside. Number three, eat more produce. This has been pretty easy for me to stick to because there's been so many fresh vegetables around with it being summer and everything. I love the peaches and the corn and the tomatoes and everything. It's been great. I made this really delicious squash last night where I cut it up, put olive oil on it, and then I took some rosemary from the garden that I have out back, and then I took some coarse pepper, and I always have garlic on hand thanks to my friend Kate the Potter. If you go on Instagram, you go to Kate the Potter, she makes these adorable garlic keepers, but they sell out like super fast. But she puts love in them, and because of this beautiful little garlic keeper, I always have garlic on hand. I always have fresh garlic. So this squash I had last night was like, oh, so good. I wish I had more squash. I have a zucchini left, so I'll probably make that tonight. But that's been pretty easy to stick to. Number four, sleep. Not so easy. Like I said, I've been having some anxiety about what's been going on. And then this morning, my neighbor, she was getting her roof done. And because I live in a townhouse, there was no way I was getting any extra sleep this morning, and there was no way I was getting any recording done, even though my house is like, um, soundproofed. When you're on a roof, no recording gets done. So, luckily, it's all done for the day. Um, but sleep did not happen. So I'm looking forward to some awesome sleep tonight. If you have a hard time sleeping, I do recommend, if you have any type of sleepy time tea, you can use 2 tea bags of the sleepy time tea and make it like a double brew. And sometimes that helps me when I have that problem. And I always forget to do that, because I just look on my phone. You should really put down your phone and you should drink that tea, and whatever else you can do to relax. But I didn't do that. I just looked at my phone and wrote notes and stuff. So learn from me. Okay, number 5, keep up with your responsibilities. This is important because if you keeping up with your responsibilities, then those things are going to nag you. They're going to cause you anxiety, blah, 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 not getting sleep, blah, blah, blah. So that can help. Number 6, use logic to change negative thought patterns. So say for example, you are feeling that you have a negative body image, for example. Um, I'm not extremely thin. I'm overweight. I have Crohn's disease. So I'm never going to look thin ever again. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to use logic now to say why I'm okay with this. When you have Crohn's disease, you can have points where you have a hard time eating, you have extreme nausea, that sort of thing. And when you're healthy, you can eat. So if I have an extra store on my body of extra fats, I'm protecting my body so that if I come across a time when I'm not able to eat or I'm not able to function, my body can pull from those reserves. And also, my husband loves me exactly how I am. So he loves everything about me. So I'm not even going to worry about it. So that's how you shut down that negative thought pattern. Um, Number 7, try something new. So, one thing that I am doing, I just did this last night when I was awake. I noticed that the hotels in the area where I want to go to visit my brother were booking up. And so I booked that right away. And then I was using this app called Road Trippers. My friend Kathleen recommended it. And there's some really cool attractions on the side of the road that you can go and look at when you're traveling. And we haven't really stopped before. Normally, we're just like, speed up there and get there. So I put a couple of those on stops because I'm not going to be able to get there before everyone's asleep. So I might as well stop along the journey and look at some of these neat things along the way. One of them is the hotel of the where they filmed Dawn of the Dead, or not the hotel. I'm sorry, the mall. So I thought maybe that would be cool to take a picture there with the fact that we do all this horror stuff. So that's something new. I haven't done that. Number 8 goes along with number 7. Have fun. I know this is like, how am I supposed to have fun when I'm depressed? Well, sometimes you just have to go and grab someone and just try to like have a little adventure or whatever. So last weekend, I think it was, my husband and I, like I said, we've been feeling down and everything. So I thought, what could we do that's kind of an adventure, but not really? We don't really want to go far. So we decided to go to the Korean grocery store called H Mart, and we got some fun Korean food to eat for dinner. And then we walked around the grocery store and we looked at all the interesting foods that they had, vegetables, all the different seafood, and all the different, it's almost like going to a different country when you go there because you get to look at all the different kinds of interesting things. And when you go on a Saturday, they have samples and there's always people you can talk to there and ask them questions about what things are. And it's just fun to try different things. And then by the end of the visit, we were just like, wow, look at all these things we discovered. It was like a little adventure without even leaving our town. So that was fun. Number 9, plan the fun. So you have to sometimes plan the fun in advance. one of the things that I'm doing is I'm planning a game party. I had to actually to next month, but uh, I'm not giving up on it. I am planning it, and I'm having friends over, and we're going to play some games. Um, I just plan the date for in the future, and if it has to get moved, it has to get moved, but it will happen. You have to plan for it to happen. And when you hang out with someone, if you really enjoy their company, it's a really good idea, before the end of your visit, you look at your calendars together and you say, "Hey, I would love to hang out with you again. When's the next time we can get together?" And you just plan it right then. And I know everybody's lives are super busy and everything, but if you really want to experience life and you really want to go for it, plan your life. 10, say, "I love you." Now, there's got to be someone in this world that you care about. And it may not be a significant other, may not be a family member, could be a friend. Doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be a big deal. It can just be your best friend or someone who has been helping you out with your depression. Can be anyone, really. Sometimes I just write "I love you" on my Facebook wall. Doesn't matter. 11, hugs. You got to be careful with these guys, because hugs, they can get you sick. Like I said, I have Crohn's disease, so when I have my parties and everything, we give each other hugs and everything, and that can spread the germs. So make sure you keep your immunity up. But hugs definitely increase endorphins, and you know important to give hugs. Um, 12, spirituality. Now, there are a lot of people out there who are agnostic, atheist. And when I say spirituality, you don't have to believe in a religion. Your spirituality could be something as simple as just enjoying nature and drinking green tea in your backyard. Something that gives you that essence of being, that connection to earth, or just a connection to something greater than yourself. It's kind of like an agnostic kind of feeling, but whatever provides you happiness. I have a friend who is very private, and he has a very playful existence, and he he tends to collect a lot of toys, and that, I think, in its own way, is his spirituality. When he sits down and takes time to create to paint action figures and customize action figures, and goes to thrift markets and finds special items, and that really makes him happy, and he shares it with his friends, that can be a form of spirituality. That is him sharing what he loves with the world and making it a better place, and he shares this with his friends. And inside his heart chakra, his existence grows. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying, take time for you, take time for that spiritual connection to that thing that makes you you, that makes you feel strong inside. Whether that's a god, a goddess, Allah, whatever, you know? Community. For me, I'm very lucky that once a month I have a team of people that come over and do recordings with me. And we do this podcast, Battalion 13, the podcast. Sometimes we're working on comedy project, but they're my community. They are my family. They're my second family, but really, in a way, they're my first family, because I always see them every month. We have a group chat. We talk to each other when we're feeling sad, and they're my people. They're the people who I talk to the most. And when I started my company, Battalion 13 Entertainment, I told the people who wanted to be involved in my project, I said, "Look, I'm going to be very busy. And if you want to be able to see a lot of me, I would love for you to be part of my project. And that way, we're going to see each other a lot. We're going to be working on this stuff together. And, not only will we be able to hang out a lot, but also we will be creating art together." And that's family. That's 14. That's family, you know? Sometimes sometimes family is friends, which is 15. So, you know, think about all those things. Think about all the things that can help you uh, feel better. Family, friends, community. I'm getting teared up because I have a blessed life, but I get to see everybody on Saturday, so that makes me really happy. Um, and I not only have a community with my Battalion 13, I also have my GI Joe friends, and I have this group text, and we text each other every day. And those people that you text every day, those are that's your community. So, yeah. Anyway, I am a very empathic person. So anytime I think about my feelings, it just comes out. What can I say? So let's see. Let's get back to the heart of the matter. 20 minutes in, words have power. So, speaking of my GI Joe community, I am working on an essay about the joy of JoeCon, and I started writing some ideas down. And I was thinking about how everything started with my action figure collecting and going to GI Joe conventions and everything like that. And I started writing it down in a OneNote, and the sentence I wrote was, "And then my basement flooded." And I had written some other notes on the page, and I just left it at that, and I walked away from it. Well, a couple of days ago, my basement did flood. So, if you put things onto paper and you leave them, and you have strong powers like me, you and strong intentions, you really have to be careful what you write down. And you can't just leave sentences unfinished. And I've decided I'm not putting that in my essay. The I'm not talking about the basement flood in my essay, because it wasn't that big of a flood, by the way. It was just this let's see. He called it a so apparently when in your HVAC system, so I'm going to teach you guys a little lesson about home maintenance. Um, you are supposed to clean out this little thing called like a P valve in your air conditioning system, and it can get gunked up over the winter. So if you don't get it cleaned out, which we did not, because we got very busy and we forgot to get the maintenance guys out and get them to look at it. And we were also transitioning between one company and another. We hadn't gone back to a company that we were using. The person we had been using previously changed careers, and we hadn't We hadn't taken the steps to take care of our house like we're supposed to, keeping up with responsibilities. So anyway, you're supposed to clean out this P valve, and if it gets stuck, then it overflows, and then the compressor overflows, and basically then water gets all over. Water gets inside the system, and then water gets all over the floor. So it wasn't like a tremendous amount of water; it was just a little bit of water. But now we have this special little valve, and we can just pull it up. We can clean it out ourselves. So I just have a little note on my calendar to clean that out every 3 months. So get your regularly scheduled HVAC maintenance done if you own a house. And if you are a renter, make sure that your landlord takes care of it. Anyway, so words do have power. One of the things that I had done that I started experimenting with was narrating and writing my own reality. And I had forgotten about that. I had forgotten that I wanted to start creating my own reality by doing that. So, one thing you can do if you're a writer, you can just open up your Word document or wherever you write and just start writing. Start writing about what you want your life to be like and do that as much as possible. And just keep that file going or keep a special folder for that. And don't give up on it. Just try to remember to do it and try not to put any negative feeling into it. If you have watched my previous video on how I do magic, keep those concepts in mind. Also, if you are a narrator like I am, you can open up your recording program. I use Cubase, but there's a free program called Audacity. You can use that. You could even use voice memos on your cell phone, and you could organize them like a certain way. If you're a singer, you could write a song about it. And if you don't know how to write a song and you want to write a song, you can check out this book that I narrated, How to Write a Song in 24 Hours for Songwriting Writer Beginners. It's got a lot of good ideas about how to write music and how to not make certain mistakes when you're trying to reach great audiences. So it's been selling really well, even when I haven't been advertising it. So people must like it. Speaking of music, I have a little treat for you. A friend of mine, Christoph Murdoch, actually shared his music with me. I love everything horror. And so I'm going to play this. He did give me permission. I do not have rights to this music. So I'm just playing it on this little Bluetooth speaker. And his name is Christoph, Christophe. Last name Murdoch, Murdock. His album is on Bandcamp. And his single that he's releasing is called Pray to the Saw. And I just love it. When I hear this song, I feel as if I have been immediately transported into an apocalyptic universe. And I should ask him if somehow we can use this song. I mean, he did use this in a movie, so I don't know if we can do this, but maybe Battalion 13 could use this in an episode in the future. That would be like super cool. So maybe we have to make a deal of some kind. But I love this song, and I am so glad that I have it on my phone now. So I'm going to play just a little sample of it for you.
chainsaw in my hand. Never taught respect.
All right, it was not playing through the Bluetooth before.
Like any good country boy, I was taught to survive. Flesh for the beast and some real pride. With the chainsaw roaring up above my head, you're proud and vain of the Lord, but you'll soon be dead.
Okay, so that's about half the track. I don't want to play the whole track because, like I said, I don't have the rights, and Christoph did give me permission to play part of it. But it's being released on July 20th, and I'm going to put a link to his Bandcamp in the video once it's finished going live. I'll also have a link to it. I've already posted a link to it on my page, Battalion 13 Entertainment Incorporated, and also on my personal page, Ellen Sue Clark, and that's with an E. So it's on Bandcamp, so it's like super cheap. It's also going to be available on iTunes. It's a single, so yeah, you got to have it in your playlist. It's an awesome song. I love it. And he's such a great person. I actually met Christoph at one of the GI Joe conventions, and he came right up to us with a big, huge smile. And he's, I think he's like 8 foot tall or something, but he is just one of the kindest people I've ever met. The GI Joe community just has just some amazing people, and he gave us some buttons, and we took some pictures, and it was just a really fun time that we had meeting with him. So yeah, so music really does have power, and because of that. And I know that you guys have been following me with the Infinity Heist that I'm working on. I have been narrating this book. I narrated this book for Taylor Elwood, Pop Culture Magic. And with this concept, basically, you create your own magic system based on something that you're really into. And I'm really into Marvel. And so I've created this spell called the Infinity Heist. And so what I did was, in the Marvel movies, there are the Infinity Stones. And what I did is to work on this spell. What I like to do is I love using music in my spells. So I'm going to actually list the songs that I'm using. And I'm not going to tell you which song is which spell. I'm going to let that be a little secret. But cuz pagan stuff, you got to have some secrets. But the way that I'm doing this, by the way, is with my Infinity Heist, I want each stone to relate to Marvel, the Marvel movie, the Marvel characters, but then also I want it to connect to that thing in my life so that it's personal to me. Now, when Taylor does his books, when he was talking about it in Pop Culture Magic, he's saying that you can create this magic system so that it can be used by multiple people, or you can create it for yourself. I do believe that once I'm finished with this spell, other people will be able to use it. And I do believe that the system I'm creating could be used by multiple people, but I think you would have to put your own songs in there. Because for me, these songs that I picked are really personal, based on what I'm doing in my life and the people who I'm practicing with. So the first song is 10,000 Hours by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. And the words that I really like in the song, uh, 10,000 ants that carry me are in the lyrics. So that kind of reminds you of Ant-Man. So think about that. Um, Also, we have Suddenly I See by KT Turnstile. I have Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon. The Touch by Stan Bush. I mean, seriously, how can you have like a power thing, like a superhero power thing, without like having a song that's not Transformers? Come on. I mean, it works. Another Sky. Now, this song is not, you guys probably don't even know what this is. Let me just, I'm not going to play it. Oh, because I don't have the rights, obviously. It's from this movie called We Are Your Friends, and it's the Magician remix, which I like. It's that is called the Magician remix. Um, One of the things I really like about that song is that when you are listening to it, it builds in energy, and that's what magic really is like the buildup of energy and then the release of energy. So I really like that. And then Don't Stop Me Now by Queen from the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. That version, because that movie just shook me to the core. Um, and once again, we say words have power. Words have power. That movie, that movie was just so amazing. If you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, see it. I think everyone would benefit from seeing that movie. So those are the songs, the 6 songs that I have picked. There's one more song that is related to it, but I don't think you guys would get it. It's Mission Statement by Weird Al Yankovic, and that's more just related to me. It's just about my business, and it's kind of funny because it's basically talking about the things you have to do to run a business. So that is that. Um, so then, speaking of reality and changing your reality and doing spells and everything, uh, has anyone else been watching Sabrina? Because oh my God, I am like so in love with Sabrina. And at first, I was like not sure if I wanted to watch this because I wasn't really into the dark magic. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. There's like this whole weird thing with like the Book of the Beast and everything like that, and the Dark Lord and whatnot, and how Baphomet is really like not Satan. Those of us who really are pagan know that it's all false. So I said to my husband, because we were both like we're like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this. And we're like, okay, we love Riverdale. We enjoyed it. And this is a spinoff of it. And we love Sabrina the original. And it's a fiction. It's a fiction story. It is, it is an alternate universe. So basically, what you tell yourself in this universe, this is how witches are. So I was thinking to myself, like, so what if, like, what if Sabrina is like a hybrid? What if she's like, what if her power is because she's half human, half witch? And that's basically, no spoilers, but seriously, half black, half white. She's like a white witch and a black witch. Like, I mean, I hate to use the weird white black thing, but if you guys have ever played Magic cards, Magic the Gathering, and you've ever made a deck, it's one of the most fun things about playing Magic the Gathering is like playing with creating your own deck. And you have the black cards, which are all like zombies and vampires and all these like in the night things, and then you have the white cards that are all like clerics and angels and everything. Like Sabrina is like black and white perfectly together. You know what I mean? Like she's the hybrid. She's the exact hybrid of the black and white cards, you know? And I was thinking about that when I finished the season, and I went and I got my magic cards and I was like looking through them, and I was like, I want to play Magic the Gathering. I want to play some cards, and there weren't any cards that like I felt that I had that represented her. So I feel like I have to make a whole new deck. I have to make like a whole new like Sabrina deck. And I just I'm feeling so inspired by Sabrina right now. And that brings me to the project that I just finished, which just came out. Pop Culture Magic 2.0. So, in the last book, you get the foundation about making the pop culture magic. And then in 2.0, it's telling you even further how to create your own magic system based on pop culture. This is what it is, folks. This is what it is. You take your favorite pop culture, say Sabrina, and you make your own magic. You make your own belief. If you are going to make your own belief system based on Sabrina, would you base it on the Church of Night, or would you base it on the Spellman practices? And also, like, isn't like her aunt so awesome? Like how she is like this kitchen witch, and like she's not even white or black with that either. Like she'll bake these goods and you'll think, oh, it's like gonna heal someone, or it's gonna make someone, fall in love, or make them happy or whatever. And she's got other things going on, so it's like, in a way, you don't know if people are out for themselves, if they're serving the Dark Lord or whatever. Anyway, the point is, you can have your own power and you can create your own spirituality with Pop Culture Magic 2.0. And I got even more better news, guys, because there's a third book coming that I'm working on. I haven't started book 3 yet, but I am going to be working on it once I finish with Space Time Magic, which is another whole awesome thing. But um, it's I really feel like Taylor's ideas have really inspired me a lot in my spell work, and I don't feel like I would be where I am today without his ideas. I feel like a lot of what I was working on wasn't that interesting before. And I was coming into some of the same similar ideas. Um, like when I was in my 20s, I had a friend who was having a baby shower, and we did um, this whole Sleeping Beauty christening ritual that we came up with based on, the 3 fairy godmothers, and that's pretty similar to using pop culture magic, but that is like a chaos magician. Um, that's a chaos magician format, whereas pop culture magic systems would be using the same pop culture to create an entire belief system. So, so far I've created the Infinity Heist for my Marvel. I'm working on some sort of divination cards. Um, and I'm working on a couple of other things with some spirit guides. But now I'm also thinking about this Sabrina thing, and I'm thinking, what could I do with that? What can I manifest with having yin and yang powers? Yin and yang powers. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Um, So, speaking of yin and yang powers and everything, and just sort of to wrap this all up, and I know I started the video talking about depression and music, and I've gone and I've talked about so many different things here. But I think that we're all on this earth to evolve, and we're all on this earth to help each other. One of the ways that we can do that is by exploring our Akashic records. And this is something that I've been working with for a while. If there's something, the Akashic records is an ancient database that everyone has access to. And basically, what it says is that if your history, even your parents' history and your parents' parents' history has pain in it, that pain goes into you. And there was an interesting thing in the Bible. I don't know exactly which thing it was because it was something that I overheard at a Bible study. So I'm not going to give you the exact thing, but it was something about sins of the fathers. Basically, if the father sins, then the son, sins and sins and sins and so on. It's kind of the same similar idea. So, and it also takes place when you see, say, a parent is an alcoholic and their child, even if they're not drinking, they can act like an alcoholic without having alcohol. That means that they're an adult child of an alcoholic. And then that can go on for years and years and years, like generations. So if that person has a child, their child could be have the same behaviors even though their parent wasn't drinking, and they can't figure out why am I so crazy. It's because their parent was acting like an alcoholic even though they weren't drinking. And then sometimes even down the line, one of those children will end up becoming an alcoholic, and it starts the chain all over again. So, something that some people do is they work on their Akashic records, and that's something that I've been working on for many years. Um, and it's also something that we have integrated into our podcast, Battalion 13. The academy that the cadets go to is called the Akashic Academy, and it's a place that can be accessed in the dreams. And you can go there to heal, you can go there to learn. And that's really what we want for this world is we want everyone to be able to heal. We want everyone to be able to learn. And there was a meme going around on Facebook and Instagram and everything. By it was a J.K. Rowling. It was a J.K. Rowling meme, and sorry guys, like I said, I'm an empath, and I think about these things. And the meme said, "You think you didn't get you think you didn't get your Hogwarts letter? You think you didn't get your Hogwarts letter, but you did. You did get your Hogwarts letter, cause cause everyone's there, and that's the Akashic Academy. Everyone has Akashic records. That's we believe that it's the same. The the Akashic records and the Akashic Academy and Hogwarts, it's all connected. So just believe. Just believe, guys. So anyway, This has been a very emotional video, and I hope that something that I said today has helped you. I hope that something that I said today has made the world a better place for you. And um, just know that someone out there loves you. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to live.